Helps to be on camera. Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday to you. We have made it through Wednesday. We're over halfway through the work week, 2 more days to go. And we're region weather living time now, right? We didn't get in Sunday because we wanted to respect your Easter. And, I said we'd probably do Tuesday. We had active weather here. So tonight's nice and quiet. We're dealing with rain and snow and there's no severe weather. So there's that. So here we are. And really the whole point of this broadcast, guys, is I want to get you prepared for what's to come. And I also know that it is really crummy outside. And I want to be the optimist to your night. So I want you to go to bed smiling tonight versus saying, oh, we've got more rain and snow on the way tomorrow. So there's that. So that's the whole point of the broadcast. We'll go long term. I've got eclipse forecast for you. We're getting a pretty good idea of what the weather's going to do for the eclipse. And then again, long term is where the real good stuff is as we get into next week and beyond. All right. So that's it. I want to say hello to Don Z. He's our first one on board tonight. Good evening to you, Don. Thanks for joining us on our YouTube channel. Appreciate that. Jeff's with us. Good evening to you, Jeff. Linda, hello. Gail, good evening to you. Phoebe's here. Hi, Phoebe. Rich is here. He says, nice and wet out. Yeah, it is, Rich. Boy, it is just, oh, man. It's just not, it hasn't been great. It really hasn't been great. Where do I go? Where am I in this? I just disappear when I do that. I don't know where that goes. I got to get that fixed. Anyway, certainly want to thank you guys for joining me, especially on a Wednesday night. I know there's a lot going on, so we'll make this quick. I do want to thank our sponsors up above us. We welcome a brand new sponsor to Region Weather, so make sure you give them some support. It's Minogue.life. What is that? Well, navigating the world of health and insurance and all that good stuff, especially relating to individual health. It's not very fun and it's very confusing. Things like Medicare Supplement Advantage, life insurance. What is that? What's that even mean? Do I qualify for it? What do I have to do with that? That's where Minogue.life comes in. Michael Minogue runs the whole thing and he answers all your questions. He provides solutions to all your Medicare, life, and health insurance needs. It is a crazy world. There are lots of rules. A lot of people, especially if you get of an older age, you may not need life insurance anymore if there's not people depending on you. He will help you navigate that world and make sure that you're paying for things that you need to pay for and not paying for things that you don't need to pay for, right? He has extensive experience here in Northwest Indiana. Since 2008, he's been doing life and health insurance, and he's dedicated to expertly guiding you through the complexities of Medicare, Medicaid, and life insurance, making sure that your personalized needs are met. Minogue.life is the place to go for more information. Public service adjusters, they are much, much needed in a world of storms that we've been dealing with recently. In terms of what that is, the public service adjusters here in Northwest Indiana, they will handle any insurance claim for you. So if you have an insurance claim and you normally just go to your insurance company, you don't have to do that anymore. You can go right to them. They will handle everything with that insurance claim from start to finish, and they'll get you more money out of your insurance company than what your insurance company will give you. They've got 5-star reviews across the board. It's publicserviceadjusting.com. Ewing MECH, that is our HVAC and air conditioner, everyone that's going to keep that indoor environment sitting good. They do all the best work here in Northwest Indiana. It's ewingmech.com. They have great specials running right now on new air conditioners. It will be air conditioning season soon. So if your air conditioner's on the fritz, or maybe you just need it checked up or tuned out, or tuned up, not tuned out. Hopefully you didn't tune out. But if you need any of that work done, go to ewingmech.com. Tiger Plumbing they do so much. I just love Tiger Plumbing. I love all of our sponsors. Honestly, I work with all of them. They're all family-owned, awesome people. Tiger Plumbing, though, has been with me for over 2 years now, and they're just great. You guys all rave about them. They're fantastic. If you need a plumber, go to tigerplumbing.net. That's the place to go. Jeff and his team just do great work. You can schedule an appointment online. You can see who's coming, shows you a picture of who's on their way, and they come out for free, which blows my mind this day and age, especially with gas prices back up again. But they have some great specials right now. They install Delta faucets. They do any plumbing work. If something's not going the right way in your house, then make sure you figure that out with them. Not yourself. Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, finally, they've been with us for over 2 years as well. We certainly appreciate them. They've got brand new Jeeps out on the lot ready to go for you. They've got some really odd vehicles too, some really cool vehicles that I've never even heard of before. So check them out if you get a chance on US 30 there in Valparaiso. Okay. I know. Thank you, Phoebe, for that update on that. I see that in terms of where I disappear on that. Hi, Eric. Thanks for joining us. There you go. Let's see. Murrah says, best thing I did when I turned 65, got an agent. He was able to explain all the different options and pick the right one and the best one. Listen, I'm not trying to sell you something, and Michael Minogue is not either, right? It is a difficult world, and you need someone that's going to study Medicare and Medicaid and all that. And you're right. I appreciate that comment because it is certainly a crazy world for wealth. Vince, thank you. Everything's going pretty well for for the family. I see Linda, your comment too. All right, let's dive into it. Guys, it's nasty out. It's just so gross. This low pressure, this is what happens this time of year. If we're going to get really nasty weather, this is what does it. It's a swirling area of low pressure that just sits for days, right? Outside of this, it's sunny. Inside of this, it's not. And that's where we are. If you, and a lot of you, I know a lot of you are this way, you feel the weather. You feel the weather coming in. You feel when there's a deep low pressure. A lot of you are probably feeling the weather tonight. You probably did earlier today because there's a low pressure that has really deepened as expected, but it is right over Northwest Indiana right now. You can see that swirl here on satellite. We're losing daytime sun, obviously, so we're losing this, but it just shows the picture so beautifully. Look at that swirl. It passed right over Lake Michigan, and it's coming right over Northwest Indiana. So that low pressure is the point where this whole system has the lowest pressure, and everything goes in to fill that, and that's what's happening. So you probably have, if you have a migraine, it's probably due to the weather. If you have a headache, it's probably due to the weather, etc. Right? This thing's going to swirl with us for another day or so. Could be a lot worse. There are blizzard warnings and winter storm warnings up in Wisconsin. They've had about 36 hours straight of snow and wind. Some locations up there are going to see upwards of 30 inches of snow. Those are the same spots that were just in the 70s a couple weeks ago, much like us. So that's rough, all right? I think we can handle the rain, which is now starting to change to snow. Portions of the region I saw in Porter County, there's some snow mixing in. We're going to have a mix of wet snow and some rain tonight. If we're going to accumulate any snow, I'll dive into the forecast here. If we're going to accumulate any snow this time of year, it typically happens at night, all right? Because even during the day, if it's cloudy and it's snowing outside, we still have energy coming from the sun through the clouds, and that helps to melt things off. So it's really hard to accumulate snow in April during the day, but at night is when we would do it. We could have a coating on area surfaces tomorrow morning. Don't be surprised if you leave the car out dealing with that. But here's kind of low pressure continues to kind of pinwheel its way around. Notice how the bulk moisture kind of goes away tonight because we lose that daytime heating. A lot of the thrives on that daytime heating kind of pops. So throughout the day tomorrow, you notice how we get a little heating and another wave that comes in, and we're back to the rain and snow again. I don't anticipate any accumulations during the day tomorrow. And, I heard a lot of social media chatter, and a couple of you messaged me over the weekend, Easter weekend, saying, hey, what about this big snow coming on Monday and Tuesday or Tuesday, Wednesday? Are we going to get the 6 to 8 inches that the models were showing? And notice we didn't say anything about it. All right. I did respond to those folks and say, I wouldn't be too concerned about it. It's April. And that's kind of the way it's going, right? This isn't a big snow, a lot more of it's rain than snow than what the models said. But either way, coating tomorrow morning possible. We get another wave in tomorrow, just kind of another raw, nasty day. And we're going to be dealing with rain and snow through Thursday night as well. Okay. And then we start to clear things out. So let's get to the good news. Let's get to the eclipse and what happens after that. Here's this low. All right. There's today. There's tomorrow. Still dealing with it. It's heading over towards the Ohio Valley finally. And then Friday morning, we may start with a shower, but we're going to be bringing drier air in. So Friday's kind of our day of improvement. We should get some sunshine out of it once this low pulls on out. It's still going to be chilly, though. We're kind of under the influence of this big cold dome of air that's across the eastern half of the country. So we're going to be on the chilly side Friday. We don't warm up right away. And you can see the Euro model depicting still a couple lake effect showers possible. I do think we'll hang on to some clouds, especially east, with perhaps some lake effect showers. There's still some moisture in place. By Saturday, we get rid of that. That's the good news. So here's Saturday. We clear on out. You notice that the red lines are starting to come in. So we've got the heights are increasing, or there's warmer air coming in aloft, which is a good sign. So we'll start to moderate. There's not a lot of wind. Saturday actually looks really nice. Have some sunshine with some high clouds. And then here comes our next system. This is the one that's going to impact the eclipse, okay? It's a system that's got some organization to it on Sunday out to the west. But as it moves in, it gets kind of stretched out like taffy. And the whole thing is kind of falling apart at the same time, but it's still together. It's still a string of taffy. It's just a little skinnier. And so watch how this moves in. This is Sunday morning. Here's Sunday midday now. Look at this kind of stretch stretched out band of rain. There's nothing particularly organized with it, and this is actually mainly along a warm front that'll be pushing in. But I do think we get some rain on Sunday. Sunday's not the eclipse, so we're fine. But I do think some rain moves in here on Sunday. But temperatures are also going to start to move up. All right. And this is going to be a brief pattern change that takes place next week, at least the front end of it. So then we get into eclipse day Monday. All right. This is Sunday at night. This is now getting into Monday morning. Notice how the rain or that taffy has kind of, and I hope you understand this illusion, but that taffy's kind of broken. All right. We've got a chunk off towards the north now, one down towards the south. We're kind of in between. We're going to be nice and warm on Monday, so there's that. There's still going to be lingering clouds around here, but the rain will have dispersed. So we're not going to be dealing with rain for that. If you're driving down towards Indianapolis, anywhere in the path of totality, there are going to be clouds around. There's still going to be a few lingering shower chances. We'll see how the models handle this over the days to come in terms of placement on this. You notice how there's some very spotty shower activity, but it's still there. But overall, we're not looking terrible. I think there will be holes in the sky in terms of cloud cover. All right, nothing apocalyptic. I like seeing this system versus another system that's moisture laden and has all this cloud cover. This cloud cover is going to be pretty thin, all right, because there's not a lot of moisture with us initially. Okay, so then we go from there, and then next week does look pretty active. There's going to be another system that comes in, and the Euro takes us colder the weekend after that again. We'll see if that holds. It hasn't been real consistent, and the GFS does not bring us colder or get us colder. So I want to take you up to eclipse time. Here we go. This is getting into the afternoon here on Monday. This is like 2 o'clock, so close enough. And let's go to cloud cover, okay, because that's what matters. Can you see it or not? And here we go. So this is going to load here, and we're going to talk cloud cover. There we go. That's the right model. So here's kind of what we're dealing with cloud cover on the Euro. So see how there's a lot of holes? The blue is clear skies. The white are the clouds. And this isn't an exact science. Okay, this will change, but this gives us kind of an idea of what kind of cloud cover we're going to be dealing with. Is it real thick coming in, or is it not? To me, this is all high-level clouds, so it's those high wispy clouds. And notice there are holes in it. This is Monday around midday. This is Monday afternoon. So it has clouds moving in. Again, that's probably going to change, all right? There's not widespread cloud cover coming in, and that's good news. It's not full-on sunny, though. I do want you to know that there are going to be clouds around, and I almost feel like people are going to be traveling to where that sun peak is during the eclipse. Just know this: if it's going to be great here. We're going to see most of the sun is going to be eclipsed by the moon. But if you're going to totality, it's still cool when it's cloudy. It's not going to be like a total bust if you go and it's cloudy. It's still going to get pitch black outside in totality. All right. So clouds aren't necessarily a terrible thing. You're just not going to get that real good picture with the safe lens on your camera, of the sun and the crest coming over and all that. So just know that cloud cover is not going to ruin this. It's just going to kind of change the experience a little bit, but it's still going to be awesome. Okay. So that's that. Last thing I want to talk about, then I'll answer your questions, is temperatures, because this is where the good news is. We get a nice warm up next week, and here's the Euro. Okay, nice and cold next 2 days. Yuck. Weekend still kind of chilly, but then look at this bounce back, 60s and 70s for several days next week, starting on Monday for Eclipse Day. It's going to be great outside, and then it hangs on. Remember, the Euro brings in that colder air next weekend, so it has us back in the 40s and 50s. No more 30s, I don't think. But I want to show you and this is deterministic, so this can change a little bit, but I still like it. I just want to show you the GFS deterministic. Here we go. Whoa, look at this. So warm next week, not quite as warm. Look at this in mid-April. GFS is on to something. 78 maybe? 82 maybe? Wow. I saw those numbers and I freaked because it just seems so far off. It's 30s right now. Anyway, long-term trends bring some warmer air in here, okay? And the Euro has kind of been agreeing with that, but until today, it kind of changed back. But either way, hang in there, okay? Because we have much warmer air coming as soon as next Monday. But then as we look beyond that, we kind of flip the pattern as it looks right now. I would actually lean more GFS, maybe not the 70s and 80s. It's too soon to tell. But I do agree that we are going to have more mild weather. And mild weather this time of year is 50s and above. So 60s and 70s can be plentiful in April. But we will have more mild weather. And if we do get a pattern like that, that's going to bring out the leaves on the trees and everything's going to start to jump and bud. I know Some area grasses need mowed already in spots. I get it. This is really going to kickstart spring, especially next week. I think we'll be jumping out of it, but eventually on into that. But the other thing we need to do is dry out. I mean, it has been just waterlogged over the last week or so. It's been a very wet end of the month heading into the beginning of the month. So that's the other thing is we need a dry spell. And I don't really see a real long dry spell. We'll get a couple days here and there, but these systems will keep coming at us. So, okay, so that's what I've got for you forecast-wise. Linda wants taffy now. Deb says her backyard's a swamp. So there's that. JP asked a good question. Where can you get the safety glasses for the eclipse, which you guys will need? Local libraries is a good spot. I got all of ours at the library. Our TV station obviously has them for us too, but libraries are a great spot to do it. You can buy them. I know a lot of like gas stations and stuff like that have them. You just want to make sure they're certified on the label. You can see that pretty easily. Most of them are. I don't think there's a lot of knockoffs out there. People aren't trying to make $1 or 50 cents or however much they are on you with knockoffs. But yeah, you do want to make sure you get some glasses though, because you want to have that protection. And the way you can tell if they're legit or not is take them inside. And when you put them on inside, you shouldn't be able to see anything. Okay. Like nothing, right? It's not like glass. Okay. You shouldn't be able to see anything inside. And then after that, you can go test them on the sun, hold them up, and you should be able to see the sun, but faintly, all right, through those glasses. They are not sunglasses. They're much thicker than that. So there's that. That's a little tidbit from me, okay? Tom, you have a Christopher Walken quality of your voice. I have a friend, Tom, that does an amazing Christopher Walken impression. I do not. No, I don't. I love hearing it though, and I love his voice. It's fantastic. I don't know this microphone. I'm not sure. Tom, I like your comment too. I like December better than April. That's awesome. We did have a pretty nice December for sure. Kathy, too soon to tell if the eclipse is going to be better in Indianapolis or Southern Illinois. It's too soon to tell in terms of cloud cover. So in terms of forecasting confidence, and Robert says you can get glasses at Menards for $1.99 each. That's a pretty good price for those. But in terms of the eclipse being better in Indianapolis or Southern Illinois, the way we forecast things as meteorologists, the first thing I can see long-term are trends, okay? So I can look at, the models and get a pretty good idea if we're going to trend warmer, if it's going to finally warm up, or if we've got a cold spell coming in, okay? That's the first thing we can predict 2-3 weeks out, okay? The next thing is rain chances, okay? And that's usually got about a viable 10-day accuracy on it. We can see 10 days out pretty well right now. Timing changes a little bit on it, but we can, again, see systems 10 days out, and they're usually pretty accurate. So, we're 4 days out from the eclipse. We can see the rain chances pretty well and all of that. The last thing that you predict, and this is usually up to day of, is we can predict a couple days out, like 4 days out, what kind of cloud cover we'll have on Monday. But I can't tell you when the clouds are going to be here, when they're not, because that's something that forms on the dime, right? I mean, that happens that day. And so that's the last thing we fine tune, and we'll probably have a good idea a day out of when the clouds will be there, when we'll have breaks in it. We'll have a good idea. The accuracy is not great in that because it's so complex where the clouds are, what kind of clouds they are, and where they're going. And at this point, it looks like we're going to have kind of variable clouds around. So we'll have mid-level and high-level clouds all doing different things. So to figure out where it's going to clear out versus Indianapolis and Southern Illinois, it's just impossible at this point. If we take the Euro's guidance on it, the Euro had some thicker cloud cover moving into Southern Illinois during eclipse time. Meanwhile, we still had broken clouds, but it's still too soon to call that. I don't want to tell you that based on the map today. Okay. So there's that. Amanda says Meyer has them too. Jay says that he got his glasses for free at Walmart. So there's that. Yeah, they're pretty much everywhere. But local library, if you can't get them for free, again, local libraries are a great source for that. And they need to get rid of them. I mean, they're not going to be any good after this because they do expire after several years. And we're not going to be dealing with that after this. Okay. The next total eclipse, at least to move through this part of the country, I believe is it 2444, something like that? There's another one out west in Montana or somewhere in the next couple of years, but I have to do some research on that. I know Ohio's next big eclipse is 2444. So, God willing, I'll still be here. We'll see. But anyway, Mark, you're welcome. Thank you. All right. So that's it. I think we answered all your questions. So in terms of the crummy weather, I mean, again, it's sticking around, coating of snow, possible tomorrow morning. It'll melt. We'll still have snowflakes mixed with rain. Tomorrow, another wave comes in. May have a little coating of snow waking up once again on Friday morning. And then we're staying chilly through the weekend, but we'll clear skies out eventually. And then for the eclipse, we're dealing with kind of broken skies. So we'll have some clouds around with some holes in the clouds. Should have some early rain that moves on out. Okay. So there's that. Okay. All right, guys, we'll let you go. Thanks for joining me here on this Wednesday evening. Hopefully that helps. The whole point is for this to help you guys. So if it doesn't, let me know. I don't have to do these anymore. But I do feel like they help, and I do appreciate you lending an ear to a meteorologist who wants to talk about weather. Okay. All right. We'll keep you updated as we go throughout the weekend. Okay. All right. Bye.